Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Commodity TV and Precious Metals Summit here in Zurich. And now we want to talk to Tim Clark, the CEO of Fury Gold Mines. Welcome, Tim. How are you?
Hey, it's so nice to be here in person.
Yeah, absolutely. Finally, we meet us again after all that Corona things and fancy stuff we had here.
I know.
But we made it, and that's good. And you guys just released a beautiful drill hole on Percival Main, right?
We did. So as people remember, last year we had 8 grams over 13.5 meters. So we went back to Percival this year, and we put a ring around it. And on the 5th hole, we pulled out 279 grams at 1.5 meters. Obviously a huge hole, and we got some width in there too. We got some 20 meters with 1.2 grams and so forth. So it's pretty exciting because we got what we wanted. It was 4 times, I think, than last year in terms of grams per ton. And effectively, it sort of solidifies our sort of models that we're looking at. And we still have half the Percival to report. So there's a lot more potential.
Okay.
We reported about 30% of our drill holes to date. So we've also got more at the hinge. We also got a step out with a couple anomalies that are further to the east than Percival. So if the viewers might remember that what we've done is spent a lot of time on geochem and structural analysis, and it's shown up a lot of anomalies that go along the Canard deformation zone out to the east. So the point being is we're trying to make sure we show a pathway for that resource at Eau Claire, but we're also trying to show new discovery, and we're getting it.
Absolutely. So Eau Claire is the flagship project by now, I would say. Definitely, yeah. It's the real big thing, the big baby.
It's nice. I mean, I don't think we'll get to 2 million ounces this year, but if we can show a pathway, we've had 3 years of drilling over there. We focused on the hinge, which is out to the east. Last year, we extended the strike length by 25%. We were hoping to get into the gap, which is underneath in the middle, and out to the eastern extension, which is where some high grade was. We just ran out of time because of the forest fire this summer, put us back a month. We still got all the drill holes, so we were shooting for 15,000 meters. We actually got 18,000, but we got tied up because we were finding, and everything was showing up in the models out the hinge. And it's more of what you would expect. It's getting bigger in all directions. But the exciting thing was Percival. I mean, that's a big hit, and it gives us confidence to keep going out. And so I think it was a good year.
Absolutely. I see it the same way. And what is the plan for specifically Eau Claire for next year?
Next year, I think we're going to focus on trying to get to some of those targets like the Gap, and also out in the eastern extension, which is basically room for new discovery. And the Gap, they called it the Gap because they didn't think there was any gold there, but the way the geology is situated, we poked a hole in there, got 45 meters at 1 gram. So we know there's gold down there. So we want to go back and do that. And the idea is to shore up what we think is a resource and then show producers who are interested in the resource that there's a lot more upside. And remember, we've got 30 kilometers of this Canard deformation zone, and all Percival and Eau Claire sit along that ridge or that contour, and so do all the anomalies. And they all have the same geochem, the same geophysical, and the same structural signature that Eau Claire and Percival have. So if we show sort of a string of pearls, might be the best way to say it, and we show a good economic underlying business plan because you've got roads and infrastructure, all of a sudden, things are looking up.
Okay, super. So you have not only Eau Claire, but you have also, for example, the Eleanor South joint venture and Committee Bay. So I want to get an update on those two also, please.
So look, 2 years ago when we tabled the drilling up at Committee Bay, it was expensive. It still is. We still love to get a partner up there. What I would tell investors now is where 2 years ago no one was sitting down with us and talking about it, out at Beaver Creek and Denver Gold, we had a lot of conversations about it, and with a lot of big companies looking for big properties. And that's exactly why we got the property to begin with, this 300-kilometer greenstone belt. There's historically, I think we've put 60 million into it, but 100 million went into that before that. It's worth something. It's worth more than zero right now. But in a bull market, it's worth a lot more. And so that's what's really exciting on Committee Bay. On the joint venture, now that's kind of interesting because we've got Eleanor up to the north, which is owned by Newmont. Newmont's talked about divesting some of their properties, whether that's one or not, we don't know. I almost kind of hope it is because we want to keep moving it forward. If Newmont wants to keep moving it forward, we're trying to figure that out right now. It would be great, but I think there's room for consolidation. We've got Sirius up there. They've got 2 million ounces that lies right on the border. But right now we're in control, so we own the 51%. We got time, and we're hoping to be drilling there this time next year. So that's the plan there. But I think the targets in the joint venture are some of our most favorite targets with the geologists. So I don't want people to forget about it because we haven't.
Exactly.
Right.
That's right. And you also have a large position still in the Dolly Varden.
Yeah, Dolly Varden. I mean, this is why anybody who looks at the company should be a wow factor because look, the market we're in is really tough. All the valuations are extremely low, but we're sitting here with a lot of cash, with a lot of people don't have. We got $9 million in cash right now. Plus, we got $45 to $47 million. I think it's $47 million today in equity in a company that Hecla is now taken a bigger bite out of. They've gone from 10% to 15.6 within the last 2 weeks. And so I've personally been out with the CEO of Hecla to the mine last summer. And look, they're doing a lot of work on it. They know the project really well. They're buying in and supporting them on the financing side. It looks great. And this is what you want to see. And I think the case for a takeout has gone up, in my view. So from an investment point of view, we're hanging on to our shares for the moment because they also have 3/4 of their drilling results to come, and they've had 5 drills going all summer. So I think the next couple months will be interesting.
Okay, super. Yeah, I mean, if you can monetize that would help a lot.
It sure would. And yeah, absolutely. It would be great.
Okay, super. Last question. If we go back to Eau Claire, what would be, let's say, the big picture for the next years for you? Do you want to bring it in production? Could you imagine to partner with somebody? What is your thinking?
Sure. Well, I think, look, it's still getting bigger, and you can't bring it into production until you actually find an edge to it, and we haven't. So it's open to the west and the east, down plunge. There's more drilling if you want to get it a lot bigger. And but we feel like it's getting to be a resource where there's opportunity is discovery, like the Gap and the Eastern Extension, which we found some high grade, and I think that those should be advanced a little bit more. I also think there's a lot more opportunity out on our property to the east besides Percival.
Okay.
So I can see us stepping out there and doing more with those anomalies. We've got about 16 anomalies, not including other stuff that's to the north, like serendipity. So we're not gonna leverage up the market too much to do that. We're going to be very prudent about our share price. As you know, we've been very careful with our dilution in the last 2 years.
Absolutely.
I would argue we've been one of the best at preserving our share price in terms of number of shares out there and being able to raise money. So we're going to be thoughtful how we do it, but we're going to keep drilling.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And please also tell us what was the rest of the results. You are still in process.
I'd like to know, but yeah, it's listen, I definitely want to see what else is in the Percival and then these anomalies. And if you go out and look at these 2 anomalies we drilled, what's telling is when you look at the iron formations, the magnetics, they're even bigger than what they are at Percival proper.
Okay.
So we don't know.
Super. But we will know maybe next year.
Yeah.
Let's see.
No, they're coming.
Perfect. Tim, thank you very much. All the best. Merry Christmas. And yeah, we look forward to the next news.
Yes. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Tim Clark, the CEO of Fury Gold Mines. And you heard it, $9 million in the bank. That's a great cushion. But plus a lot of Dolly Varden silver shares, by now valued about $47 million, which is also a fantastic cushion. And yeah, it looks like that this could materialize quite soon. That's the one thing. On the other hand, still drill results are coming out. And don't forget, Committee Bay and Eleanor South joint venture is also in the play. So a lot of value to be created. The stock is really heavily undervalued, and you really should check out Fury Gold Mines. Thanks for watching us, and bye-bye from Zurich.